Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I'll be discussing cleaning and disinfection at work. So what is cleaning? What does sanitization or disinfection mean? Cleaning means just removing dust or dirt and especially visible ones. Sanitization means reducing the number of germs present at that on that object or at that location. And disinfection means killing all the germs. So cleaning and disinfection at work is a very broad topic actually. We've already already done with 4 topics. Now this can also overlap equipment disinfection, OT protocols, housekeeping, canteen, a lot of places. So I'll try and be specific. The spectrum of our discussion is going to be personal disinfection of personal belongings that you bring at your workplace, general disinfection of the floor, of waiting areas, of your workstation, of IP rooms, washrooms, and equipment disinfection. We will restrict ourselves to ARAK NCT, trial lenses and trial frames, and slit lamp cleaning and slit lamp chair unit. So this basically covers the paying side. Usually, currently our community outreach, side disinfection will be dealt with separately. So this will cover your welcome desk, your registration, your refraction, your OPD areas, your counseling, investigation rooms, then your pharmacy, your opticals. So let's proceed with that. Before we start with all this, we need to understand what is a fomite and what is the difference between a fomite and a vector. Fomite is any object or material which is likely to carry infection, such as clothes, utensils, furniture. It is usually non-living. It takes part in indirect contact transmission. And examples, of course, doorknobs, instrument, phone, anything can be a fomite. Vector is a living organism, usually a parasite, a tick, or a mite, which takes part in mechanical or biological transmission of infections, flies, mosquitoes. So all these are vectors. So we need to keep an eye that what could potentially become a fomite through which we may transmit infection within the hospital or at home, right? So disinfecting personal belongings. What are the usual personal belongings that we have? Your phone, preferably at your workplace. If possible, keep your phone covered in a plastic pouch, and you can remove that pouch when you go home and use your phone normally, because it just becomes easier to clean your phone if it is in a pouch, so that you just have to clean the pouch and you don't necessarily have to clean the phone per se. You don't want to damage your expensive phones by dipping it in alcohol and whatever. So then your iCard, your keys, your wallets, your specs. A lot of people have a habit of fidgeting with their specs every now and then. So yes, that also could be a fomite. Your water bottle. It's preferable that everyone carries their own water bottle. When to wash and when to use 70% isopropyl alcohol. Usually anything that can be washed should be washed with soap and water. But if it cannot be washed, obviously like your phone and maybe your wallet and also, you just wipe the surface with 70% alcohol. And if it is a sensitive thing like a phone, of course, don't completely drench it with isopropyl alcohol. You don't want it to get damaged. So these are the things. Avoid bringing anything beyond this as far as possible, and avoid jewelry, watches, all those things, accessories are quite avoidable. Now coming to general disinfection of the floor throughout the hospital. So floor disinfection is categorized based on risk. So whether it's a high risk area, moderate risk, or low risk. Low risk area obviously means areas where there is no flow of either patients or more or less any other staff also, minimal flow. So admin areas, your boardroom, your stores, your libraries, meeting rooms, your MRD section, electrical areas. So those places don't require frequent cleaning because of since there are fewer people going to be going there, few lesser chance of infection being present in that area. So you can clean these areas once in a shift, usually once in morning, once in the evening. Then moderate risk areas are your usually your IP, your lab, your pharmacy, your OPD, your canteen, laundry, because these areas involve movement of a lot of people. Laundry because your soiled or contaminated clothes may be going there, so that's why. So these areas need to be cleaned once in 4 hours, maybe once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening. Then high risk areas are obviously OT attached areas like block room, recovery room. We don't have post-operative units within our OT system, but those also become high risk areas. And secondly, relevant to our hospital would be triage area. So these are triage areas is obviously we are expecting suspect or potentially COVID positive patients. So that's why also it comes in high risk area. So these areas need to be cleaned at least once in 2 hours. And especially in these areas, uh, after every patient also you need to clean all the equipment. All this has been very nicely covered in the previous lecture also. So OT protocols are separate, and we have quite elaborate safe protocols for that. So that will be dealt separately. So this entire chart shows us how often to clean and which areas are categorized into which what risk category. Now for floor disinfection, what do you use? So our policy says we need to use Lysol. Lysol on the Lysol can itself, it says that you need to add 1 cap full of Lysol in 4 liters of water. So 1 cap full is 15 ml of Lysol in 4 liters of water, and of course in that multiplication, and you use it for cleaning. So this is just a small video of how cleaning is done, and I'll go to that. So Lysol and Harpic. Harpic is for toilets. This is Lysol dilution being done. And the floor mopping has to be done in an 8 manner. Okay. So then your waiting area, chairs. All these also, I'll come back to that again. Waiting area chairs need to be cleaned after every patient. Don't only focus on the chair that was occupied by the patient, also clean the middle chair which the patient or their attendants might have touched. On the chair, you also need to understand those armrests. Those armrests need to be cleaned properly. The underneath area of the armrest needs to be cleaned properly. Those are areas which may be missed out. Then this is the same concept applies to your slit lamp chair also. Clean the entire backrest, clean the seating area, clean the area underneath, I mean your armrest, underneath the area underneath the armrest, so that all the potential areas that the patient could have touched are cleaned. So in the previous video, for your chairs and all, what do you use? You can either use Lysol with, of course, diluted Lysol, or you can also use 70% isopropyl alcohol. See, what happens is if you use diluted Lysol, someone in their enthusiasm may, wet the mopping cloth too much and they make the entire chair or chair unit wet. And of course, you don't want anyone sitting there and wetting their clothes. So usually isopropyl alcohol works because it just evaporates quickly. But if you can also use Lysol, diluted Lysol, but don't make the chair or or the chair unit armrest absolutely drenched with water. Coming to general disinfection of your workstation. This picture uh, is common across most of our workstations. It may differ slightly, but whether it is registration or refraction or your doctor station, nursing station, counseling, pharmacy, opticals, any of these are the usual items. What you may usually find: an intercom, keyboard, mouse, pen, your scanner, computer screen. You may possibly have those pen stands and all those things. These don't need to be cleaned after every patient. It's enough you can clean it either at the beginning of your session or at the end of your session, preferably at the beginning of your session. Okay. The logic is that anyways, after you touch a patient, examine a patient, perform any procedure or examination, the first thing you have to do is do hand rub or hand wash, whichever is appropriate. Once you've done with your hand rub, then you proceed and check the DMR or start writing your notes or anything. So it is very unlikely that you may contaminate these things as long as you follow simple procedures. As soon as you touch or examine any patient, do your hand rub first. And you can disinfect all these items with 70% isopropyl alcohol. Again, the same principle applies. Do not drench these items with alcohol, or else your keyboard and all may just conk off. Coming to general disinfection of the IP room. Now, what are the different aspects in an IP room? You can have this is not a picture from our hospital, but these are usually the common things that's there. So in terms of equipment, of course, you have the IV stand. Hoist is the thing that helps you elevate the bed. Then you may either have a BP apparatus there, you may have some medication trolley, patient bedside trolley. Then for patient, of course, the patient clothes. Then uh, areas which are high touch areas, high contact areas, which are very close to the patient, of course, the bed and the bed rail. Then TV, remote, intercom, chair, attendant bed, bedside table. These are all high contact areas. Whatever I've highlighted in blue is of course related to laundry. So that is not, that is a separate discussion. But otherwise, coming to other items, curtains, window, light switch, door handles, cupboard, desk, mirror. Then in the washroom, you may have soap dispenser, tap, sink, flush, paper towel dispenser, grab bars, all these things. So we have to be alert about the fact that all these things are potentially going to come in contact with the patient or their attendant. All these things need to be thoroughly cleaned once the patient leaves the room. Only if we elaborate all these items, list it out properly, will our housekeeping and our facility team be able to identify and clean this. Otherwise, just a blanket statement that clean everything does not mean anything. So this is a video of IP room cleaning. So we have our housekeeping person cleaning this mattress. The mattress is anyways coated with resin, and the cleaning the bed rail, the pins, the remote, phone, intercom, the table, light switches, the cupboard. Then subsequently they'll be cleaning the desk, the mirror, the window area, everything. So thorough deep cleaning kind of thing has to happen for the entire IP room. And very interestingly, they have also shown how he goes and cleans that latch up on the upper edge of the door, which is something we might very easily overlook. So that also has to be looked at. Then this is general washroom disinfection. We've already told that we need to use Harpic for our washrooms. You need to uh, So you need to apply Harpic on all your sink and your um, washroom, the toilet seat. Leave it for about 10 minutes or so, and then nicely thoroughly clean it with water. So very nicely, the entire washroom has been cleaned. This video was from a washroom in an IP room. But of course, the same concept applies to any washroom, even your common washrooms, which is in the OPD area and all that. So that also is the same thing. Coming to equipment disinfection, we are going to restrict ourselves to ARAK NCT. ARAK NCT, the principle of cleaning is the same. In fact, it has to be cleaned after every patient. So it's taking 70% isopropyl alcohol. The desk is the desk is cleaned, because you may hold the desk, the patient may hold the desk, then clean the joystick of your instrument, any other place, the screen where you might possibly touch. So all that area also has to be cleaned nicely. Don't just scrub it recklessly. It has to be cleaned in nice single sweeping motion. Then coming to the patient side, clean the chin rest, the forehead rest. Suppose if there is any handle for the patients to hold, or maybe just the table on the patient side, all that also has to be nicely cleaned. And this has to be done after every patient for AR, AK, NCT, all that. Coming to refraction area, when refraction is being done after every patient, again, how do you clean your work desk, your trial frames, your trial lenses? Again, you're going to use 70% isopropyl alcohol and use a tissue paper for that. Be very careful while using cleaning trial lenses. You don't want scratches on that. This is the remote that is used to change your screen. Near vision chart, if you are handing it to the patient, you will have to clean it. Preferably do not hand it to the patient. You can keep it close to them and ask them to read it. You know? Otherwise, so we are done with the refraction area. Now coming to slit lamp cleaning in the consultations chamber. Use 70% isopropyl alcohol, clean the entire slit lamp desk, then clean the joystick, cleaning the eyepiece. In case you keep fidgeting with your binoculars at every patient, then you will need to clean your binoculars also. Usually it may not be necessary. So the common areas which are of a slit lamp microscope that are touched for every patient is, of course, the joystick, the magnification, the slit beam, the uh, the aperture, and the filter. So those things are something that mandatorily have to be cleaned. Suppose you also change the angle, then ensure that that is also clean. Of course, on the patient side, the forehead, the chin rest, the entire chin rest assembly has to be cleaned. Additionally, you see that there is one uh, additional protective assembly uh, of a plastic sheet that we've placed on the slit lamp. In case you have any such assembly on your slit lamp, that also has to be cleaned inside towards the doctor's side as well as the patient's side. So just cleaning the slit lamp and totally becoming oblivious of this sheet is pointless. You need to clean that protective assembly as well. So we come to the end of this discussion. The devil is always in the details. Be very alert. Keep a keen eye on what is happening around you, where you touch, on what all areas of your workstation do you touch, where all is the patient touching. All those areas need to be cleaned. And of course, ensure that all the patients and your staff, whoever is coming to the hospital, have their mask up, covering their nose and their mouth. Many people have the habit of pulling it down. So all that is also very important. Anything can become a fomite. So be careful. Thank you.